with our global situation, I've always taken a look at things a little deeper. So I've been thinking about masks. Thinking about masks a lot lately. So what do you use if you have poor air quality, or worldwide pandemics, or brush fires, or air pollution, or volcano eruptions? What kind of mask do you use? Well, in this episode, I'm trying to go through and create the ultimate guide for masks in determining whether respirators, masks, dust protectors, reusables, disposable, surgical masks, which ones are the ones that you're supposed to use, the qualifications of each, and the different levels between each. How do you go through and decipher what kind of mask is what? And that's what we're going to explore today. What's up, guys? This is Herves from HERVES WORLD, showing you that IT means I try. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to subscribe. So on this channel, we do unboxings, desktop support, life hacks, actual hacking, and tech reviews of great products. In today's episode, since we've been preoccupied in the type of mask you have to have on, whether people have masks on, whether they're using the right kind of mask, under their nose, under their chin, on at all, well, I'm trying to determine the ultimate guide for masks for different situations. What kind of levels there are, what kind of qualifications there are, the type of efficacy and efficiency in all the masks for different situations, to try to get a really well-rounded view of masks in case we ever get this global solution, or we have aliens coming through, or a volcano in New Jersey. We need to know what kind of mask to use. So we're going to consider this the ultimate mask guide. Anything we discuss in this episode, you'll find right on the bottom over here. Hopefully it's really intuitive, and we can keep this conversation going on the bottom. So if you can help, let us know and we'll take a look at your content. Let's go take a look. The first thing you have to see is that masks and the nuances of masks are going to be very, very different from person to person. Each mask is different, each face is different, so you're going to get different fits for each. How I breathe is different than how you're going to breathe, and we're going to need to determine a pretty good baseline of the different materials there are, the different environments you use it in, and the different conditions in which you're going to employ different masks for different situations. So let's explore the different type of masks and the type of efficacy, such as comfort, protection, how well they do with viruses and bacteria, and how comfortable they are. So let's take a look at each type of mask. So let's talk about the professional respirator mask. I'll put a drawing here and show you a couple pictures here. Now, these are very, very comfortable. They're about 40% comfortable. You're gonna get protection for 95%, you're gonna get virus protection, 95%, bacteria, 95%, and dust and pollen, you'll get 100% protection. Now, the reusable masks are very, very comfortable. For 90%, you're gonna get protection, 90%, you're gonna get virus protection, 90%, bacteria, 80%, and dust and pollen, around 95%. Now, the sponge masks, you're going to get 100% comfortable. Protection, 30%, virus protection, 5%, bacteria protection, 5%, dust and pollen, 70%. Now, the active carbon masks, the surgical masks, are two different kinds of masks. So we're gonna cover the active carbon mask first. Comfortable, 50%, protection, 30%, virus protection, 10%, bacteria protection, 10%, dust and pollen, 50%. Surgical masks, very popular surgical masks. Comfortable, 50%, protection, 40%, virus protection, 30%, bacterial protection, 30%, dust and pollen, 50%. Now, a fun fact about surgical masks is they're not made really to protect you, they're made to protect the patient from your bacteria, from large droplets from your mouth onto a patient, and perspiration or large droplets, not to protect you, but to protect the patient. Now, cloth and fabric masks. These are very, very popular, but they're 70% comfortable. Protection, 20%. Virus, 0. Bacteria, 0. Dust and pollen, 50%. Now let's take a look and break down the different grades. There are two types of qualifications that you're going to get. There's a value such as N, and then a number which is such as 95 or 99 or 100. So let's take a look. So the N95, it's a standard measure of filtration given by the U.S. National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health, NIOSH. And they basically came up with 9 qualifications and classifications for medical and professional filtering. And they based this on a combination of different respirators and efficacy and efficiency levels. So let's break it down. Now, N95 is very, very common that we know. It's a respiration. It's the most common of the 7 types. So we're going to break down the different letters. You have N for not resistant to oil. It's used when oil particulates are not present. You have R, which is resistant to oil. And these are used when oil particulates and particles are present and the filter is disposed of after a shift. Not repeatedly, after a shift. And you have P for oil proof. Now this is used when oil particulates and particles are present and the filter is reused for more than one shift. So let's take a look. The second value is the numerical value, 95%, 99%, or 100. Now this indicates the minimal efficiency level of the filter, which means N95 filters 95% of airborne particles, and 99 filters 99% of airborne particles, and 100 filters 100% of airborne particles. And let's break this down. Let's take a look at the EU standard for filtration. Similar system, but a different classification. So the EU standard is defined by filtering face pieces, FFP. Now what this does is it shows you FFP1, which filters 80% of airborne particles, less than 22%, FFP2, which filters at least 94% of airborne particles, less than 8%, and FFP3, which filters at least 99% of airborne particles, less than 2%. So let's take a look at the different type of respirators and break them down. Now there are different type of respirators. You have industrial professional respirators. Now these are designed to reduce but cannot eliminate the wearer's exposure against certain airborne particles. Then you have personal use respirators. They form a tight seal around your face, your mouth, and your nose, but these are going to have a factor against oil. And then you have the surgical ones, such as the surgical N95 respirators, which is going to have against airborne biological contaminants, but they do not remove the risk of illness, disease, or death. So let's talk about the daily reusable masks. Now they're really, really comfortable, and they give you a combination of the best of both worlds. Comfort, and they give you a high quality of filtering and optimal comfort. So you have to make sure, but the biggest downside is you can't really use this in a medical professional environment because it can and will expel droplets through the filter. So these type of masks are mainly for daily use in cities, urban areas. They're designed for aesthetically and fashion. They're very fashion forward and they're very comfortable. So you're going to get a protection level of N95 as long as you have the proper seal there and filtration, you should be good to go. Now the problem is that this is going to keep the internal temperature and humidity low, but if you're sick, once you breathe out, you're gonna get other people sick, which is why hospitals don't want you to have these kind of effects, and you can't really use them when you're traveling as well. So let's talk about the sponge masks, the ones that are very popular in Asia and in Japan. Now these are very popular, but they're not very effective at stopping bacteria, viruses, or even pollution. So they're really only good for blocking dust, pollen, sunlight, and smells, but that's about it. If you're going to use a sponge mask, put a surgical mask under it. It'll give you a little bit of comfort. It'll give you a little filter, a double filter. You'll filter dust, pollen, some smells, but it's not really effective. But the double mask is the way to go if you're using a sponge mask. Surgical masks. These are labeled as surgical, the laser, the isolation, or the dental mask. These are primarily to protect patients, not the wearer, from bacteria, body fluids, large particles in the air. They're not tight fitting, they're loose, there's openings on the side. I see people do a trick by putting the bottom up over the ear to make it closer, but they're not very effective. And they're not rated. These are not fitted, so they don't really protect you. The best way to use these is if you're going to use these as a filter with a sponge mask. That's your benefit there. Now they do make N95 dust masks. These are the ones that I suggest you get. So if you're using these as a construction worker, or if you can get your hand on these masks, the N95 variant, these are really good to use. In conclusion, when you're wearing a mask, you have to be aware of what kind of mask you're wearing, the situation you're wearing, the type of qualification you're wearing. But it's the sense, if you're not wearing your N95 or N100 mask properly, if it's not really on and it's under your nose, it's not going to work for you. And you're protecting yourself and others as well. So if you have the right mask, you'll protect yourself from pollution, bacteria, viruses. A high quality reusable mask is going to be great, but make sure it has a multi-layer filtering system for you. And if it has a little style as well, well, that's going to be awesome. Well, that's going to do for this episode. Hopefully this helps. Anyone that had any questions with masks, if you have any other thing that can help us, do me a favor, hit us in the bottom here, join our group, and let us know where we can help each other. Well, that's going to do for this episode. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Remember, IT means I try. In the next video, we're going to do a comparison between the LG mask and the Philips mask. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Remember, IT means I try. Peace. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I will catch you guys in the next one.